What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner!
Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
Well, hello and welcome to the weekly recap from We Are Soccer. Oh my gosh, what a weekend! We have some champions. Congratulations to Liverpool, who are your 2024-25 EPL champions. Congratulations, Liverpool. It's kind of been... we knew it was happening. Listen, it's been several months. They've been the best team in the league. We expected a little bit more, but hey, what a hell of a win today over Spurs to wrap that up. So congratulations, Liverpool. You are the EPL champions for 2024-2025. Well done. Congratulations to Barcelona, who played one hell of a game yesterday against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey. What a fantastic match that was. Some theatrics at the end where some red cards were handed out, and Barcelona did some Real Madrid players did some apologizing after the match. There will be some lengthy bans there. We will talk about that. A huge congratulations to Wrexham, who have been promoted to the English Championship. They'll be playing in the English Championship next year. That is 3 years in a row they've been promoted. That is history right there. Absolutely phenomenal. What a rise for that club and the Hollywood actors who've promoted them and put a bunch of money into them. So that is awesome. All right, so we're talking about all that. We're also talking about the FA Cup that happened this weekend. Crystal Palace move on, Man City move on, what happened in those games. We're talking USL Jägermeister Cup. We're talking a lot of other different things. Jamie Vardy's leaving. We're talking MLS. Is he going to go there? We're going to talk a little bit about a Bundesliga. My word, we got a lot to fit in tonight. Now, it's not just me, your host, Craig Hearn. I'm here with Brooks Lambier Jr. Brooks, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Busy weekend. Let's see. Friday, obviously we played Friday night. Won our indoor game, so that was good. And then let's see what else. Saturday, dentist appointment, and then I had to help a friend with some stuff for the rest of the morning and a bunch of other stuff. Watched some soccer on Saturday night, the USL Jägermeister Cup, and then some MLS matches. And let's see, I caught a bit of the Copa del Rey. I didn't get all of it, but I caught some of it, saw the highlights, and then reading up on the soccer news. So I'm excited to speak about Wrexham and the other stuff that's going on. And then obviously Liverpool, clinching and winning the Premier League title. That's interesting. Virgil van Dijk, the first Dutch captain ever to win the EPL League title. Yes, I saw that on social media. Yes, so
that's awesome.
Very interesting. So.
You had, I want to unpack this for a couple of seconds. You had a dentist appointment on a Saturday morning?
Yeah, it's just easier just to get it 10 o'clock. Yeah. He's in the Fisher building, so I drive downtown and go to the dentist. So there you go. I
want to spend my Saturday morning, but hey, good for you. Whatever, knock it out, be done. I get it. All right, let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's talk. We're going to talk about Liverpool, man. It's been wrapped up for a couple of months now. We've known it. We thought Arsenal were going to mount this triumphant comeback, and they were going to put pressure on Liverpool, and in the end, no, Liverpool walked away with it, 15 points clear. They could be 19 points clear at the end here, if it's all said and done, because Arsenal are focusing on the Champions League. They are in the Champions League semifinal, so that's where their focus is. Obviously, we know Liverpool were booted out of the FA Cup by Plymouth Argyle. Then they lost to PSG in the Champions League, so they didn't advance there. So the only thing they really had left was the league, and that's where they put their focus in the last couple of weeks, and they've just walked away with it. Now, this is only the second EPL title they've won. Okay, so this is the second EPL title. They won in 2019 and 20, and unfortunately, they did win it at home, but it was COVID, so no fans there. This time, the fans got to celebrate. I mean, it is a historic championship. It's a historic title because it is number 20. They're now tied, and I hate to say it because everybody's been saying it. They're tied with their bitter rivals, Manchester United. Manchester United have 20 titles to their name. Liverpool now have 20 to their name. The difference is we could go League Cups, FA Cups, and all that. Now, Liverpool have 6 European Cups. Manchester United have 3 European Cups. Does this make Liverpool England's #1 trophy-winning team? There's a big debate right now out there about that. I don't know. I really don't want to get into that because it's whatever. But you have to say they are one of the best English teams to ever play and grace the field because of the amount of trophies they have won.
Yep.
This year, just a great year. But even if they don't win the next 4 matches, it's still the points total won't equal to what Man City had in years past. So the league is a little down with top teams winning it. But that takes nothing away from Arne Slot and what he came in here and did this year. What I do love, though, after the game, after they beat Spurs 5-1, and by the way, Liverpool went down 1-0 to a Dominic Solanke header. Spurs went up 1-0, but then here come Liverpool, and they scored 5 straight, and some brilliant goals there. At the end of the match, when they're all celebrating on the field, Arne Slot sang Jurgen Klopp's name.
Oh, he should. I mean, he got him the job, and I think he's very thankful. And look at the year he's had with the players, and he's got a couple coming back, and we'll see what he does next year with the new guys he brings in. But it was a good year for him.
I think it was a great year for Arne Slot. Yeah, he came in, he kind of tweaked a couple of things here, stuck with the same formation essentially, but tweaked a couple of things here. But he pretty much gave a nod to Jurgen Klopp, saying this was your team. Majority, 95% of the players were your players you brought in. You built this. And you probably would have won it this year, Jurgen, because it was a down year for everybody else except for Liverpool.
Yep.
I mean, who knows? We can speculate that. But I do want to, congratulations to Liverpool and Arne Slot. And well done to Arne Slot for singing Jurgen Klopp's name and giving him props at the end there. So very well done.
Got a few comments.
Yeah, go. Let's jump in. I love the comments, please.
So Rod Sana doesn't like our Tottenham flag. He said, "Get that ugly Spurs flag off the wall." Yep. BX Garney won. Shouting out to the Arsenal women, were very phenomenal in their win. So, and then Luke Zagorski, evening lads, very confused as a Welshman this weekend. Wrexham up, Cardiff down. Don't know how to feel.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one for you there, my friend. You're right. Rod, you've got to be excited though because Arsenal are. Rod Sana, by the way, is a huge Arsenal fan. Arsenal are in the Champions League semifinal. I think that's going to be a hell of a match. I can't wait to watch that one. And yes, Spurs decimated by Liverpool this weekend, 5-1. Spurs, I mean, God, Ange Postecoglou's got to be out there. Even if they somehow go through and win Europa League, he's got to be gone. This has just been a horrible year for him. And I want to see some of those players off. I want to see Kulishevsky go somewhere better. I want to see Heung-min Son go somewhere better. I want to see Mickey van de Ven go somewhere better.
Hear the rumors spinning around that they may want to bring Pochettino back.
Oh, that's interesting because
him and Daniel Levy are very good friends apparently.
That's interesting. I don't see that happening, but you never. Why go back? I mean, probably for more money, but why go back to be put into that volatile situation with Daniel Levy, who is one of the most god-awful owners and CEOs that the EPL has? I don't see Pochettino leaving the comfy confines of the U.S. soccer.
No, not. He won't get out of his contract early. It's a safe space. He knows he's got it for 2 years. Like, what's the point?
Agreed.
Maybe Pochettino. No, I mean, if he was a free agent, he would probably be considered for Real Madrid. I'd say, right? If you could throw his name in there.
Well, I do want to ask though. All right, with Liverpool winning this is their 20th league title. As I said, they have 6 European Cups to their name. Manchester United have 3 European Cups and 20 titles to their name. League titles to their name. Who is the greatest English soccer club out there? Is it Liverpool, now that they have tied with the 20 league titles? Is it them? Brooks, what's your thoughts? I mean, listen, you and I sit in this room most weeks with the 2 Man United fans who, they're not here today due to other reasons, but we sit here listening, them banging on about how their club is one of the biggest and one of the best in the world. They don't like Liverpool because they are bitter rivals, but you have to admit, I mean, what's your thoughts, buddy? You have to admit Liverpool are up there now.
Yes. I mean, it's just shifted so much. I mean, Man U used to be everything, and now they're, I mean, fair to say they're the smallest of the big clubs. and they're
That's-
probably even getting into the mid club range right now with how crazy it's been. Liverpool, I mean, just the consistency. I mean, them and Man City. I mean, they've always been in the top 4 or 5
Last several years. Yep.
last several years. Chelsea have bounced around a lot. Arsenal have been, on the edge. They're finally in those top 4 to 5 spots. But Liverpool, just with the football they play, what they've won, how competitive they've been in any competition, no matter who they're playing, what players they play, it's always difficult to beat them. And that's a very well-run club. If you play your academy, your young lads, they're hard to beat. You play your second tier guys, mixed with first tier guys, hard to beat, and then in a dominating fashion and performance when your strongest lineup plays and you just dominate possession and the counter and score goals, and you have a mid 30-year-old just dominating and scoring and leading your team. That says a lot,
Yep. Well, Liverpool have, as we reported in the last couple of weeks, and everybody probably knows, they have signed up Virgil van Dijk for another 2 years. They have signed up Mo Salah for another 2 years. So they're taking care of business on the field and off the field. Will they be this good next year? Will any of the other clubs come back? Will Arsenal really mount a title charge? We don't know. Will Chelsea put it together? Will Man City get better? Because this year they dropped off. I think they'll have a resurgence this summer in players coming in. So it's going to be a little tougher next year for them.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I looked back at my predictions. I had Liverpool finishing 7th due to a new manager coming in. I had Arsenal winning it this year. Danny had Arsenal winning.
I got Man City.
I think you had Man City. I think actually Nate had Arsenal and Danny went with Manchester United.
Yes, of course. As a true fan.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well for you, Danny.
Yeah, Eddie Hudson saying Chelsea, sexiest club around.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know
He's a big Chelsea fan.
He doesn't have quite the sexy shoes that Eddie does.
No.
All right, before we go too much further, I do want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, big thank you to our friends, big thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all of your soccer gear needs. A big thank you to Next Level Training, Aaron, Dylan, Scotty, and the rest of the trainers are the best trainers around. Check out their summer camps. Their schedules are up now. Sign up quick because spots go fast. A big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars, MichiganJaguarsFC.com for more information on one of the best clubs here in Michigan. And a big thank you to the Futbol Doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. If you're hurt, injured, and you need to get back on the field, hit up the Futbol Doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He also does baseline testing, and he's been doing that on some of the top pro athletes around. So jump in and talk to Zach about that. All right, we got a lot to get to. Crystal Palace destroyed Aston Villa, my Aston Villa yesterday. I'm very let down by it, but I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting us to win. I sat on the couch and watched the game by myself after getting back from my kids' soccer. I was in Pontiac for my kids' Michigan Jags game. Got back for the start of the game, and wasn't expecting much, unfortunately, from Villa, and true to form, they let me down. Crystal Palace played phenomenal, 3-0 overall. First shot on goal they had is in the back of the net. I think I read a shot that this year, in 53 games that Villa have played, 22 of those games, the first goal that was shot went in the back of the net for Villa. Emi Martinez has had a bit of a rocky year. I keep telling everybody he's the world's #1 goalkeeper, and he seems to want to be proving me wrong right now, so I'm a little unhappy there. Villa, 53rd game this year, they just looked a little tired. Just looked out of sorts. It just wasn't happening. They controlled the bulk of the play, and you could see Crystal Palace didn't really want to do a low block. They didn't want to do a high block. They did this mid block. They let Villa have the ball up until the center half. And as soon as Villa crossed that center line and came close to the center circle, that's when they started pressing. It was a unique situation. Villa haven't run into that quite often this year. Normally they're pressed high, and they're able to navigate through and find those open areas and spots and do little breakaways. Or they play against teams like Southampton, who sit back into that low block and able Villa just then pick them apart. Crystal Palace have just been that thorn in our side all year. We lost 4-1 to them 7 games ago. This time it's 3-0, but nothing away from Crystal Palace. Well done. Congratulations.
Yep.
They are now going on to the FA Cup the FA Cup final to play against the game that happened today, where Manchester City beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. That game, if you didn't watch, Brooks, that game Nottingham Forest hit the woodwork 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. I mean, within millimeters, they could have been the ones who are headed to the FA Cup final against Crystal Palace. That Crystal Palace Manchester City game is going to be played on May 17th. I tell you what, it was a really entertaining game, and Forest did kind of what Crystal Palace did against Villa. They sat back and said, you can have the bulk of the possession. We're going to let you hold the ball up top, but as soon as you get close to the center circle, that's when we're going to start to press and start to really see what we can do. And it almost worked out. A nice early goal for City put their nerves and their fans' nerves at ease, and I think really helps them settle in. That'll be a good game, though. I tell you what, Crystal Palace versus Man City. I'm interested to know who most people are rooting for. I've gone back and forth on this, but I think officially I'm going to say I would like to see Crystal Palace win. I am going to say Crystal Palace is who I'd like to see win.
I think most American fans, since Chris Richards has been playing a lot for him as a right back or right center back, it's, I think a lot of people are feeling Crystal Palace. I think people are tired of seeing a Man City finish at the top there.
Agreed. And I will say that Chris Richards played pretty well yesterday. He did his job. He wasn't, let's just say, noticeable in the game. He didn't stick out.
He didn't mess up, right?
He didn't mess up.
Yeah.
He did his job. He cleared the ball when it came in. He did what he needed to do. I would like to see him go on and beat Man City in that FA Cup final. That would be great if he could do that and come home with just pushing something through here on my phone. There we go.
It would be good for them to win. I mean,
yeah,
get a trophy, maybe get into the top 10 there. I mean, they're at 45 points. The 10th place team, Bournemouth, is at 50. So, I mean, some teams have to drop a little bit, but, if they make a run here at the end and do well, and then maybe that sets them up for pushing even higher next year.
I mean, they started out.
They're going to sell players, though,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They're going to sell players. I don't know how Eze sticks around there too much longer. One of the big clubs will come and get him and put him on big wages.
Yep.
But I do hope that Crystal Palace go on to beat Man City in the final. I think that'd be really good. I'm hoping I'm assuming, like you said, Brooks, a lot of fans are on the same wavelength as us, and they'd love to see Crystal Palace win it as well.
Yeah. Mike Lupinek says we need a Barcelona flag on the wall. We don't have any Spanish stuff in here. We
really don't.
We don't have any Germany stuff either. I mean, we got Liverpool. Obviously, we got Man United. We got Villa. We got a Michigan State flag, U.S. soccer. We needed to diversify in the Bundesliga and La Liga.
We really do.
Yeah.
Mike and I swapped texts last night about that Barcelona game. That was, that game was back and forth. From a neutral's perspective, that game was just all over the place. I really think the days leading up to that game and Perez and Real Madrid putting pressure on the referees union and all the referees and coming out and putting that dossier together of this is how calls have gone against Real Madrid for the season in the last year, I think that really influenced the referee in the game. There were several times Real Madrid players could have been sent off and could have been just carded and weren't. So I really think that helped. In the end, Barca overcame all of that, even without their best goal scorer on the field. But you mean Lamal, man, that kid is just
He's good.
balling out, dude.
He's good. And they're
So
clicking all
good.
cylinders, and
So good.
this is going to be a difficult team to beat. On recent news one I did, the soccer weekly I do. I mean, I talked about the quadruple for Barcelona. It's very possible.
It is. Now, I don't want to jinx them because we did this with Liverpool. We did this with Liverpool. We said, hey, this is like 2 months ago.
Yep.
Liverpool, the best team in the world right now. They're in all the competitions. They could go on to win everything. They could put the quadruple together. And then a week later, they lost to Plymouth Argyle. And then a couple weeks after that, they lost to PSG. I mean, it all just fell apart for them.
It can very quickly.
Barcelona are a different beast.
Yeah.
Barcelona are a different beast, though, man. I really do think they can. They have to be the favorites right now in the Champions League. I think it's them, PSG, then Arsenal, and then Inter. I think Inter will drop out. They've had a horrible couple of weeks here. So Inter, I think you can just write them off, essentially. But they're Italian, so you never know. But I do think Barca, if they continue to play the way they're playing, you just hand them the stuff now, man. It's incredible how good they are playing with these such young kids as well.
And essentially,
These players in the middle of the field that are just maestros with the ball. And it's not, sorry, Brooks,
No,
it's
okay.
not the skills that they have. And I want American coaches and American players to realize this. You're looking at Yamin Lamal, you're looking at Pedri, you're looking at all these players, even Danny Olmo is a young player. You're looking at these players and you're saying, look at the skills they have. It's not the freaking skills, man. The American players have the same skills. They're just as quick, if not quicker. They've got a great touch. It's the decision making that these players have and the space that they find. And then once they get the ball in that space, the decision they make to go left, to go right, to go back, to run, to shoot, to pass. It's the decision making, which is what is separating these players from American players and these teams from American teams. I'm telling you right now, I gotta get people to start buying into this. The skills are here in this country. It's the decision making. There's a 38-year-old man running around in the MLS who looks like a world beater there because of the decisions he makes and the little movements he makes, the little decisions to get open and how he does it and what he does with the ball. That's what we need to start to get our kids here to realize. You've got the skills. You're bigger, you're faster, you're stronger. Now it's the decision making. It's the mental part of the game. 90% of football is mental. It's mental. 10% physical.
Yeah.
That is where Barcelona has really, Hansi Flick has separated his team from everybody else. And it was so evident in that game yesterday against Real Madrid.
So for me, it's a question for you and then anyone else that's watching is, so Hansi Flick, successful at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Won the quadruple.
Mhm.
Fell short with the German national team.
Absolutely did, yeah.
Doing well at Barcelona.
Mhm.
Really didn't have all his players registered the whole entire year. He had to deal with all that. Danny Olmo and then, Pau, Victor just, constantly, am I going to play who's playing each week?
Yep.
Financial issues at Barcelona, Hansi Flick, first question. One of the best managers in the world right now?
Absolutely one of the best club managers in the world right now. Man managers and club managers. And I want everybody to realize there's a huge difference between a club manager and a national team manager. A club manager, I think Hansi Flick is that. He absolutely shows it. He goes and coaches or manages the German national team, and he falls short. He fell short of the expectations, but he had at his disposal some of the best players in the world. Why did he fall short? Because when he's at a club, he gets to work with these kids every single day, influencing them, trying to teach them the game, make the little decisions, how to do things. Can't do that on the national stage. You don't get to work with players every single day like you do at a club. So,
Yep.
Absolutely one of the best managers right now. If you're starting a brand new club right now and you said, I want a manager who day one can step in here and take this club to the top, it would be Hansi Flick for me right now.
Okay. All right. Mike Lupin agrees. Mike Lupinik says best coach in the world right now. I do agree, just with what he said. Second question, once he's done at Barcelona, does an EPL team come and knocking?
For Hansi?
Yes. Is he? He's won in Germany. He's won in Spain.
No. Because Barcelona and Real Madrid are destinations that you do not leave. Essentially, you are walked out. They are two of the best, biggest clubs in the world where you can have any player. Let's put it this way: you could go pick a player in the EPL. Pick any player in the EPL, Brooks. Any of the top players. Pick someone. Cole Palmer.
Sure, Cole Palmer.
Yeah. Cole Palmer gets a phone call tomorrow from Hansi Flick in Barcelona, and they say, we want to buy you this summer. Do you know what Cole Palmer does? He walks into the manager's office in Chelsea and he goes, I'm leaving. I'm out. I want to go. One of the biggest clubs in the world who's probably going to triple my salary has come knocking. I want to go there and I want to play on that stage because they are in Champions League every single year. Not just in Champions League.
They also got a new stadium coming in too.
Brand new stadium. It looks phenomenal. But they're not just in the Champions League every year. They're competing for the Champions League. That is one of those clubs. There are 3 or 4 clubs in the world where you go, I know I'm at a big club, but this club just came calling. I'm going. And Real Madrid and Barcelona are it. So I know we led into this with a viewer comment. We do want to say that the final was 3-2 yesterday. Barcelona went up 1-0 in that game and absolutely were running the show. That first half was Barcelona, just all Barcelona the whole way. The second half, They came out, and Carlo Ancelotti and Real Madrid changed things around. They made some substitutions, and boy, did they pay off. They went up 2-1 before it got tied up late in the game. I think it was the 84th minute. Tied it 2-2 late in the game, and then it went into extra time. And man, was that game back and forth, just up and down the field. So freaking entertaining. And then a mistake in the back from Real Madrid, who are trying to pass out of the back. Modric plays a pass. The player runs, I think it was Garcia. Was it Garcia who ran away from the ball instead of coming back to it? Koundé steps to the ball, fires it into the lower portion of the net, and beats Courtois. There you go, 3-2. And then the scenes, Brooks, we got to talk about the scenes at the end from Real
Yeah, I
Madrid.
watched the end of the last 15, in the extra time, and yeah.
Just disgusting.
I know it's a fiery, it's, things are getting heated. You want to, I mean, listen, Real Madrid have not beaten Barcelona yet this year. They've lost the first game in league play. They lost to them in 5-2 in the Spanish Cup. This is the third time they've beaten them. They play once more on May 11th. So it's just anger and frustration. Just, to me, Rudiger, it needs to be better from them. It's ridiculous. Like, you don't throw water bottles on the field after a referee makes a bad call. And he did apologize. I do like that he went on social media and he did make a public apology and said that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. But you're a professional athlete. You get heated a lot and you get frustrated, but there's no reason to do that.
Absolutely no reason. The funny thing was Casey Keller today after the FA Cup game was talking about this incident, and he said the funny thing was a couple of times in my career I received an award, or I was injured and rehabbing, and I received letters from Real Madrid. It was just a letter that says, "Congratulations on the award you just won. We're happy as a club to see you do that." Did Casey Keller was he ever part of Real Madrid? No. But they sent letters to players just saying, "Congratulations, we noticed," or "Hey, we saw you got injured. Good luck in your rehab." And one of the things they said in the letter is, "If we can ever help with anything, don't hesitate to ask." Now, that's phenomenal. And Casey Keller said that was incredible to receive those letters like that. And it was incredibly classy to receive letters, and incredibly classy for them to do that. They don't do that anymore, because look at what they're doing on the pitch. It's absolutely horrendous what they're doing on the pitch. Rudiger had to be restrained by multiple players. At the end of the game, Lucas Vazquez and Jude Bellingham received red cards. Yep. All three of those players are now going to be suspended for upcoming matches. Rudiger, they're saying, could be suspended anywhere from 4 to 12 matches.
Yeah, he was trying. Like, they had to hold him back. There were like 5 people holding him back.
I would, if I'm La Liga and the officials there, I say throw the book at him. 12 matches. Teach these players, teach all of the players, all of the clubs a lesson that this will not be tolerated.
Yep.
Absolutely not. Could you imagine if it looked like a water bottle, but they haven't actually said what it was.
I think it was a water bottle. It was something, but it was like they didn't like the call. Everyone got up off the bench, and then all of a sudden you just see this thing, and then they have a shot from the bench of Rudiger, just the ice packs on his calves, just like getting up and just.
Could you imagine if that would actually hit the referee in the head?
I mean,
or anybody in the head.
I mean, he might have been like suspended for the rest of the season.
He'd be suspended for months.
Yeah,
months.
And
he'd
get
be suspended for the next
fine.
I think 6 months. He's lucky it didn't hit anybody. Yes, He did the right thing afterwards and came out on social media and apologized and said he was wrong. Apologized to the referee. But hey, that's not how the law works. That's not how real life works. Just because you apologize doesn't make it, better. Doesn't make the punishment go away. Suspend him for 12 games, suspend him for the rest of the season, suspend him for several games next season. This can't happen. This is why we struggle to, in this country, in any country in the world, keep referees going, because they feel threatened. Even those referees, you could tell yesterday, were even feeling threatened. Could you imagine if Rudiger had actually gotten close to the referee without his teammates holding him back? Who knows what would have happened?
I thought he was going after the fourth official, to be honest with you.
He might have been as well, but the poor fourth official. I mean, he didn't make
the
fourth
official's job is the worst, because you have to maintain like everyone's. You have to keep everyone cool.
Yep.
And I've sat in the middle with some college matches and just seen, I've seen a lot, and it's rough being a fourth official.
So the next time Barca and Real Madrid play is May 11th, the final El Clasico of the season. We'll see. That has title implications. Right now, Barca are 4 points ahead, so there's title implications there. We'll see what happens. I mean, at this point, you just put your money right on Barcelona winning.
Yeah. One more comment here. Luke Sikorsky is Barca to EPL an upgrade anymore? If it ever was? ? Where does he go? ? Nobody is hiring other than United next year, which is a poison chalice.
You said it, my friend. All right, we got a lot to get to. I do want to talk about Wrexham. We got a couple of other things to talk about USL Jägermeister Cup, some other news and notes that have come out. So we got a lot to get to. Stick around. Right after this, we'll be back.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Cool.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, sorry about that. We're back. Okay, a lot to get to. Hey, you've all seen the show. Welcome to Wrexham. You've all watched the various seasons. We all know that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have bought the team. They put their money in. In the first year that they owned the club, they missed out on the playoffs by like this much, so they stuck around where they were. And then they put a little bit more money into the club, and then they got promoted in year 2. And then they got promoted in year 3. And then that was last year, and we all said, okay, that's brilliant. 2 years in a row.
Yep.
That's incredible. Well done, guys. Probably not going to happen again. Good luck in League One. You'll be there for a little bit. And when you know it, they went ahead and finished second officially in League One now.
Yeah, behind your arch enemy club.
Behind my arch enemies, the Blues.
Yes.
Birmingham City. The Blues were promoted last week, and now, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, Wrexham have done it. They are officially promoted to the EPL Championship. That is huge. That means, I mean, listen, if you were going to sell a club, if you're an owner of a club and you're going to sell them and you're in the EPL Championship, you could sell that club for anywhere from 100 to 300 million, depending on the stadium, the seating, and all the stuff that comes along with it. But essentially, Rob and Ryan paid 2.5 million for Wrexham 4 years ago. Now they've put a couple of million in each, right? You could probably say you've put in anywhere between 10 and 20 million, or maybe a little bit more.
Does that include all the updates they made, or are we excluding?
That includes everything. Yeah, you're right. The stadium. So you probably
new grass, like new cop, new looking on the outside of the stadium. And there's a lot of renovations.
Let's just say with players, staff, field, new stand, you're probably looking at 30 to 40 million.
Sure.
But if you can go sell that investment for 100 million plus, it's a good little pick.
It's a good return.
It's a good return. But they're not doing that. They've come out and said, we're looking to get to the Premiership. That's the goal.
The question is, who do they bring in eventually as the third person to get the players they need whenever they need to?
What do you mean?
Well, they're eventually at some point, whether if miraculously for a 4th year in a row, and that would be miraculous in itself if they got promoted into the EPL. At some point, you're going to have to bring in someone with a lot of money to pay for players that you need to get to that next level.
Yeah, they will definitely need a billionaire to be part of their group.
Which they probably know enough anyway.
Oh, absolutely. And there are people out there who would love to be part of the project, who would love to come in at the last minute. But if you look at all the Premiership owners, they're billionaires. They're multi-billionaires. They're not just like close to billionaires. They're not just Hollywood actors and producers. They are billionaires. But Rob and Ryan have done an absolutely phenomenal job, as we can say. 3 years in a row. That's history, by the way. No team, no club has ever been promoted 3 years in a row throughout the English system. So that is history made right there. Congratulations to the American and the Canadian owner. Well done. If you ask me right now, I would say they're not getting promoted out of the championship for a couple of years. The championship is brutal. It is a tough
fist
league.
fight.
Oh my God.
And you see it this year, the table.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the bottom of the table, I mean, it's people, I think the 25th position is still in line even in the last 2 games.
24th. They got
24th, yeah. Sorry, 24th, my bad. Which is Plymouth Argyle, I believe.
And they had such a horrendous start to the season, they weren't able to bail themselves out.
Yeah.
But we said it a couple of weeks ago. It looks like Luton are about to be relegated again. They are 4th from bottom. They could be relegated.
Yep.
So Luton, who dropped out of the Premiership last year, have almost fallen straight through the Championship. And if they lose a couple more games, they're going to be gone. It is tough to stay in the Championship. It is like being punched in the mouth every single freaking week.
And here you go.
Cold
Ready?
Rain.
Are you ready? Here, this is the last, or the bottom 5. Cardiff City in 24th with 44 points.
They're gone.
Plymouth Argyle 23rd with 46 points.
Mm.
Hull City 22nd with 48 points. Luton Town 21st with 49 points. Preston in 20th with 49. Derby County in 19th with 49. Stoke City 18 with 50 points. I mean, look how close everyone is with 2 games left.
It is absolutely incredible how close it is and how tough it is to stay in that league. Now, there are players that are just not quite good enough for the Premiership, and they get played and pushed into the Championship, and that's where players really do make their mark. But, man, it is a slog in the Championship. If Wrexham go through the Championship and into the EPL within 12 months' time, I will absolutely be flabbergasted. I don't think I will have ever seen a story like that ever before, and I don't think we'll ever see a story like it ever again. I think they'll be stuck in the Championship for a couple of years, and there's nothing wrong with being stuck in the Championship. The Championship is, Brooks, as you were talking to me before the show, probably top 10 league in the world. Yep. I mean, we know the big 4, the EPL, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and most people and the pundits and everybody puts League 1, Ligue 1 in there, the French league. So there's your top 5. But then if you really bear down and go, where else is there? The Championship, the EFL Championship is an incredible league with some historic clubs. Yep. That would be a top 10, top 12 league. Absolutely.
For some reason, I just feel like they have a chance next year, Wrexham. If you just think of like the atmosphere that club has and just the feel-good mentality. I mean, I saw something on TikTok last week, and it was Rob McElhenney in the stands with the fans chanting.
Yeah.
I don't see owners do that at clubs. Like, how often does a Rob and there's 2 celebrities that are owners come and greet everyone before the match? Like, just standing outside. Like, it's a feel-good thing, and I think that carries through the club. And then, obviously, they do all the goofy commercials, like they did the Super Bowl commercial with, Channing Tatum and the Stoke coffee and all that stuff. And I don't know. It's just like, I think anything's possible with that club just because it's not a mentality in that club of, like, here we go again. Like, are we going to make it? It's like, anything's possible.
Agreed. They have set this club up for, hey, the sky's the limit.
Yes.
Just don't see them getting through. It will be an accomplishment to finish top 10. Yeah. Brooks, you before the show, you said I can see them finishing top 10 in the Championship.
Yes.
I think at some point we're going to have a friendly wager. I don't see them finishing in the top 10. I think they'll finish 10 through 20. I think they'll finish in that bottom half of the table. If you slice it in half, it's 12 and below. I think we'll have a friendly bet at some point here about how they do next year.
The question I have is, do they keep with Phil Parkinson, or do they eventually pivot?
How do you?
Because he's done well in the EFL. I think League One. I don't know if he's been a Premier League manager or not.
He has not.
But
how do you get rid of the guy who's promoted you 3 years in a row? How do you get rid of that? You can't. You absolutely cannot.
And I mean, why change when everything's really worked for you? You know,
No.
because if you try to bring in some big name person and the guy doesn't get along or buys into everything the club's doing, then you just made a horrible move, and you know, you possibly maybe get relegated again.
You only fire Phil Parkinson if after the first 12 to 15 games you're in the bottom 3.
Yes.
Okay. At that point, you go, hey, we made another investment this summer to bring in some players. This isn't working out. Maybe this is above his level. I don't know, but we can't be relegated because that'll be a really bad thing. So let's pivot, let's change it. But you got to give it about 15 games, 12 to 15 games, and at that point, you go, hey, it's time for change, or we're sticking with the course. But I think he'll be there a couple more years. I think he's a very good manager, and he's three times in a row got them promoted. It's just mind blowing, man.
And the last thing I'll just finish with is like, I think you are going to see some well-known players that have been a part of Welcome to Wrexham for a long time, and that you've gotten to know that have been with the team since the National League. I think at some point, possibly this year, you will see them, you know, not getting contracts renewed. They don't have, you know, if they're a free agent this year, or they're, you know, they need to sell them or something. I think you'll start seeing that, and you'll see it even more. You know, and the question is, do they keep some of the older veterans they brought in, do they keep them around, or is it time to get guys that are a little younger with more experience? You know,
I mean, you get into the championship and it's a young players game. You need 2 or 3 older guys who can lead the club and show those young kids how to be real professionals, but it's a young man's game.
Yep.
I mean, you need the 20, 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old guys to really get up and down the wings, and really, it is just a horrendously hard league. It's tough and physical. It's a tough league. All right, speaking of tough leagues, we're going to talk about the USL Championship and USL as they are doing the Jägermeister Cup. We're going to get to that. And then a little later on, I want to ask everybody what they think about former English referee Mark Clattenburg proposing time-wasting changes. I've asked a couple of people in the last few days this question, proposed it to them and their thoughts. I've got some variously different answers, so I'd like to get everybody's thoughts there. And we'll be right back right after this.
Tempo, yes, drop out, good, yes, touch play, right foot, yes, scan, good, touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan, yes, Jay, well done, good side on touch, play, see it, yes. All right, lots to get to in the last couple of minutes here. We talked about Wrexham, we've talked about Liverpool, we've talked about Barcelona. Now we're going to come over here to America. We're going to talk about the USL Jägermeister
Cup. Brooks has been really into this in the last couple of weeks. He's been telling me all about it. He's been watching all the games. He missed out on a huge party last night to stay home and watch games. The Cup competition brings together USL League One and USL Championship teams. They put it into 6 groups. 2 of the 6 groups consist of 7 clubs. The rest consist of 6 clubs. 2 home matches, 2 away matches. And this is Brooks's writing, I'm just reading, a strong emphasis on goals scored, as that will be used as the tiebreaker for teams level on points following the group stage. Matches don't end in draws. They head to a shootout if tied at the end of regulation.
It's kind of got a little like a TST involved, because it's important to score goals in TST. I think they kind of took that a little bit and just kind of...
Well,
for
for people who don't know what TST is, it's the soccer tournament, the 7v7 soccer tournament that's played in June down in Cary, North Carolina. I think we're seeing a lot of leagues start up now and competitions start up that
feel a little different.
Just have this little twist, right? Like the game can end with a whistle. It's got to end with a goal or whatever it may be. I like that. All right, tell us about some of the games you've been watching, the ones you've enjoyed, and I want to know, I know it's early days, who's the favorites? Give it to me.
Oh, geez, yeah, it was a favorite. Let's just start with some of the matches. So there were a lot of interesting matches this past weekend with the Jägermeister Cup. I mean, you had some interesting upsets. You had Charlotte Independence, defeating North Carolina FC. And the wonderful part about this is, within the region, you get to see the 3rd division club play the 2nd division club. It's almost like the beauty of what we love about the U.S. Open Cup and how the 2nd division and 3rd division team can play the MLS side, and you could see if they can beat them or not, and whatever team they run out and whatnot. You have FC Naples beating big time dog Charleston Battery 1-0. And whether Charleston ran all their top players or whatever they did, irrelevant. Like just to see expansion club FC Naples go and beat Charleston 1-0. Then you had some upsets. You had Indy 11. Winning 4-0 over Forward Madison, and in a great 2-2 draw, FC Tulsa scoring one late, and then one Knoxville beating them in PKs, and Michigan homegrown Sean Lewis in goal for Knoxville, making some good big PK saves and helping them advance. And it's fun to see the different regions and teams play each other, and just to see like what's the biggest difference between the player talent and the style of play. That is the fun and entertaining part of it. And we do have one midweek game here on the 30th here on this Wednesday. We have Las Vegas hosting AV Alta FC, which AV Alta is an expansion club in USL League One. But yeah, so that's just some of the matches over here, just kind of the beauty of it. And then just in terms of the clubs to win it, I mean, the rough part is it's like the 6 group winners advance, and then there's a couple wild card spots. So I'm assuming once USL League One fills out and you get the 20 or so clubs in the league, and then, USL Championship fills out, and then, eventually you get the Division One, it'll be really interesting. I imagine the groups will be all even. You'll get 4 to 5 teams in a group, and you won't have this lopsidedness of like 7 teams, play everyone,
Right.
But it's a wonderful competition, because now we can see the difference in level and play, and then teams that are bigger markets travel to smaller markets and vice versa. And I mean, last night, Knoxville, over 6,000 people showed up to that match.
Dang!
Highest,
biggest
amount attendance in USL League One history. There's over 6,300 fans.
Very nice.
And they're in a baseball stadium, but they're renovating, they're changing it. But that is something that's wonderful to see. Knoxville, Tennessee, where the University of Tennessee is, not a big town, but 6,000 people show up. So that means they're supporting their soccer, and there's soccer to be supported in small towns.
Soccer at the lower levels is growing, as why we see a bunch of clubs starting up and growing. I love it. All right, we did talk about Brooks. This is a league that's got they're changing things. They put a little bit of a spin on things. I like the games can end in draws. They go to shootout. We love the shootouts. It's the USL Jägermeister Cup. Now, let's take it a little further. Can we get some Jägermeister shots in there? Can we get, before the game, everybody's got to do a shot, and then if you score a goal, your team has to do a shot? I mean, so if you can imagine a team that's up like 4-0 doing like several shots, they're going to get a little loopy, and then the team that hasn't had any shots, they're going to come back, and then they're going to have to do shots. It's Jägermeister. They're going to provide the free Jägermeister. And then what about the fans? 21 and over only can take shots. I don't know. Let's throw something else in there. Come on, Jägermeister. kick it up a notch. Let's do this.
Maybe if you win the competition. I don't know if it was last year. Maybe you get a free year of Jaeger or something if you win the competition.
Ooh, I like that. My father-in-law would love that. All he does is drink Jaeger. He actually sips.
Likes the black licorice, Sean. It's actually good for your
Sips
digestive
Jaeger.
system.
Is it?
Yes.
See, I drink Guinness. That's good for everything. Anyway, but it is an awesome thing. I do like to see divisions mixing it up and playing against each other because you get to see, as you said, you get to see the levels. The players get to see, and the USL Championship teams get to see how players in USL 1 play, and maybe they'll spot a player or two and give them a chance the next year, signing a contract. So
in this country with pro soccer, we've just been so separate. Unless it's been
siloed,
unless it's been US Open Cup, that's the only time we see these upsets. And that's the great part, is as USL grows and hopefully, you know, MLS gets other teams back in Open Cup, and obviously MLS decided to do more stuff with Liga MX. But as USL grows, hopefully we start to see that. And it's just fun to see, like I said, Knoxville getting 6,000 people. Like, who would have thought Knoxville, Tennessee would do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Oakland Roots, how much they've sold out in playing in the old Oakland, you know, A Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Getting 20,000 people there. It's great to see. There's room to grow, and people like soccer in this country, which is great.
Agreed. And the World Cup's coming here in 2026, so everybody get ready. Although none of us will be able to get tickets because it's all corporate funded and all that good stuff, and we won't be able to afford the...
Well, you got to buy the ticket packages for the FIFA Club World Cup.
You got to buy the FIFA Club World Cup packages.
Yeah, ticket packages,
World Cup packages, and then maybe you'll get a ticket to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Who the knows anymore with FIFA? It's just a big... I hate to say it, they're almost like a terrorist organization. We'll be booted off all of our platforms after me saying that, I'm sure. All right. We got two more things we were looking to get to. One of them is, Brooks, I got to ask you about referee Mark Clattenburg. If you remember him, he reffed.
Small guy, right?
No,
that's Howard Webb.
Yep, that was Howard Webb.
Yeah.
Mark Clattenburg was a younger guy. Still is sort of young, but he kind of retired and gone in behind the scenes and done
He does a lot of VAR, right?
He does a lot with VAR. He still speaks the game. He's come over here. He's actually done some of the 6v6 stuff in the league. I forget what the league is we were talking about earlier that started up in England. But he came out this week and he said, listen, what needs to change in our game is the time wasting. He goes, it drives us nuts, the time wasting. He goes, one of the games I was refereeing a couple of years ago, I went back and watched, and out of a 90-minute game, only 40 minutes of play happened.
Yeah.
So he said, here's what I'm going to propose. If a ball goes out of bounds for a goal kick, and the goalie walks over there, puts the ball down, knocks his cleats off, changes the position of the ball, knocks his cleats off the mud on the post again, takes his time, the referee is allowed to blow his whistle and go and say, nope, it's now a corner kick for the other team. The other team's allowed to go take a corner kick. So he's allowed to change that. And vice versa. If a team earns a corner kick, and sure enough, they take their time getting the ball, they put it down, they switch players out, that player resets the ball,
and then throw-in.
Then he looks up, and the referee goes, nope, you took too much time, it's now a goal kick. And then throw-ins. If the ball goes out of bounds, and we've all seen it. The ball goes out of bounds.
10 yards forward.
And they all steal 10 yards. Do you know why they steal 10 yards? Because they can. And if they can't, the referee just moves them back. So Mark Clattenburg said, listen, a lot of the times if you're time wasting, you go out and you don't pick the ball up that's right in front of you. You walk a couple of yards and you pick that ball up.
They wait for the ball boy to throw him one.
Or no, they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Oh, yeah, you're
Put
right.
down on the cone. And then they put it under the shirt and they dry it off. Yeah. And then they look around. And
or
then
the goalkeeper gets the ball and takes 20 seconds to punish.
They steal some time and then they move up the field and the referee blows his whistle and moves them back. Yeah. And the referee's just going to go, nope. Other teams throw in now. We're switching possession. I actually really like this.
Yes.
I like this because in goal kicks, corner kicks, and throw-ins, there's so much time wasted. I love the fact that this could be actually an idea to go, my team is down a goal, and we want the play to speed up a little bit here, but the other team, every time the ball goes out of bounds, it takes forever. Every time it goes for a goal kick, it takes forever.
Yeah. Did they talk about faking injuries?
No, because that one's he did it, and that one is very tough to do, Brooks. I will give you an example. I'll give you an example, right?
Okay.
So I was playing in a game a couple of weeks ago. A guy came at me. I tried to pull the ball back. I pulled the ball back with my right foot. He stepped on my big toe of my left foot, and I dropped like a ton of bricks. It freaking hurt, right? Like, and this is 3 weeks later. I still have a big bruise on my big toe.
Yep.
Anyway, I came off the field, and all my teammates go, "Hey, were you trying to buy some time there? Are you trying to buy a foul?" I go, "No, I actually got stepped on, man. That really hurt." Right? So nobody could tell.
But that's fine. It's the over exaggeration, like Neymar rolling 20 times, or like,
Sure.
you know what I mean? I hate to say it, it's a lot of the South American players that tend to do this, that they've been very well known for, and League MX players.
I agree.
It's the over exaggeration of, oh my God, I'm in agony. You know, like that's where, and it's hard to judge. But if you could somehow.
But it's hard to judge pain as well.
Sure.
Like, I get stepped on and you get stepped on. I drop like it's talking bricks because it really hurts. You're like, that didn't touch me. I can barely feel it. So faking an injury is really tough. And we all know why.
If you know you did, though, you should get carded. Like, if it's definitive that you know they did it. Because you can tell some guys that do it on purpose.
Yeah.
There are repeat offenders that do this a lot.
Well, that actually happened in the 94th minute yesterday of the Real Madrid-Barcelona game.
Yeah.
So let me think. Who was it? That cut in and was hauled down by Vasquez in the box. What player was it?
It wasn't Mbappe, was it?
It wasn't Mbappe. No,
he was pulled down in the extra time.
It was a Barcelona player. He cut into the box and he was cut down by Vasquez, and he rolled and he held his leg, and the referee blew the whistle and pointed to the spot.
Yeah.
And then VAR came in and said, "Hey, you may want to take another look at that." And then we went and looked at it. He went and looked at it, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, he wasn't even touched."
Yep.
So he wasn't touched, and he rolled and grabbed his leg. That's interesting. Now, you don't know if he fell on his leg, right? Because maybe he fell when he dove and he hurt himself. The referee took literally 2 views of it. Play it, good. Said another play it. Okay, came back out and said, no yellow card for Vasquez, but a yellow card for you. I forget the name of the player, for diving. And now no penalty kick. It's a free kick going the other way for simulation. Very well done there. That's great. But it is hard to tell when someone is really faking an injury. Like in that case, he wasn't touched. He clearly was not touched. The referee admitted he missed it. He reversed his call. Well done. But if you get touched, whether it's the slightest touch or the hardest touch, you can't tell if it hurts or doesn't. Anyway, so I'm in favor. I'd love to know if people are in favor of this, of Mark Clattenburg. If a team is wasting time on a throw-in, the referee just blows his whistle and says, nope, too much time. Other team now has the throw-in. Or goal kick. Nope, you took too much time for that goal kick, and now going to be a corner kick. I like it. I actually really like the idea because time wasting has become a huge, huge piece of the game, which no one likes.
Yep.
All right, Brooks, this was one topic you really wanted to get to. Bruce Arena was recently talking about U.S. men's national team Mauricio Pochettino on the Unfiltered podcast with Lanovan Donovan and Tim Howard. He made some comments that he doesn't think, this is Bruce Arena, saying he doesn't think Mauricio Pochettino should have been hired, and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Do you want me to read some quotes?
I would love for you to read some quotes. Go for it.
So here we go. From Yahoo Sports article. Says, if you look at this is Bruce Arena, if you look at every national team in the world, the coach is usually a domestic coach, Arena said during the Unfiltered podcast with former American internationals Landon Donovan and Tim Howard. And I think when you have coaches that don't know our culture, our environment, our players, it's hard. I'm sure our coach is a very good coach, but coaching international football is different than club football. It's a completely different job, he said. So I don't disagree. It is different, but you're talking about a man that has been successful in the Premier League with Tottenham and
Southampton.
Yeah, in Southampton. And he was in the 1 year he was there with that craziness with Chelsea, he actually finished well with them.
He did well with them. He didn't do so well with PSG, but that's a whole other ball of wax and worms of whatever you want to call over there. Yep.
So the issue I have with Bruce Arena is he is at the last end of his coaching career at 74. This is probably the last stint with him at San Jose. However long he lasts, I have faith he will probably, he's turned clubs around. He's turned New England around. He was successful at the LA Galaxy. He was good in his first year of DC United, very good coach at the University of Virginia, won national championships. He's won everywhere he's gone, did well for the men's national team. He didn't get them. You can argue that he was partially the reason probably why they didn't qualify for 2018 because he took over, interim head coach. But I don't like that it's now just kind of run your mouth and I want to say what I want to say. That's what this is. This is like.
So I'm gonna actually agree with Bruce Arena because what I said earlier, right? There's a big difference between a national team head coach and a club team head coach. There is a huge difference between those two. The club team head coach, you get to coach every single day. You get to put new things into place. You get to work with players and groom them to be a certain player in certain tactics and styles that you want. As a national team head coach, it is very, very different. Now, where I disagree with Bruce Arena is, why did we have to talk about nationality here?
Sure.
Leave it at just the coaching. Hey, I would have had no problem, Bruce Arena, if you'd said, I don't think he should have been hired because he has no national team head coaching experience. Mm-hmm. I'm good with that. That's your opinion. Great. But now you've gone out and said, I don't think he should have been hired because he has no national team head, and he's from a different country and doesn't know our culture. Give me a break, man. Like
soccer coaching's coaching. He's coached the best players in the world. And if you're in the EPL, you have to win all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to ignite those players when you're not doing well to find something inside of them. And the reports have been since the Nations League matches, he was super upset with his players and laid into them.
Good.
And Gold Cup could be very interesting coming up this summer to see who he selects and what he does. But I don't like how Bruce Arena just assumes that Pochettino won't do that. Like, he is fiery. He knows how to coach. He's an Argentinian guy, so it's obviously there's a lot of expectations coming with Argentine.
He played the game at a high level. He knows what he's doing. Now, listen, if he was coming over here and coaching any MLS team, then you could go, listen, he's a guy who's an international coach, or he's a coach who from a different country who's never coached here. He doesn't know our culture.
Sure.
He doesn't know high school soccer. He doesn't know college soccer. He doesn't know how the USL 1, 2, and USL Championship works.
Doesn't know much about the academy system.
He doesn't know anything about the academy system. He doesn't know anything about how the salary cap and all that stuff works. I get that.
Yes.
But he doesn't need to know. Mauricio Pochettino doesn't need to know a single thing about any of that. All he needs to know is, here's the pool of players.
Yes.
I need to pick the best players to win games.
Yes.
That's it. Not hard. Bruce Arena.
I think he's upset.
Talking to talk.
I think he's upset because he's a Northeast guy, and all the domestic coaches have been from the Northeast besides now two, besides Klinsmann and Pochettino. And Pochettino's not playing the game, and he's being fair, and he's not playing favorites, and he's going to pick the best players that he thinks should play in the squad. And I think he doesn't like that, in my opinion, as well.
Well, it is what it is. Well, all right. I'd love to know people's thoughts on that. Bruce Arena just talking to talk and get noticed again, or is there actually some validity to that? Brooks, that's going to wrap us up for the night, my friend. Another good week. And thank you, everybody, for joining. Do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share on any of the platforms you are watching or listening on. We very much appreciate that. Do us a huge favor. Give our partners a like and a share as well. We'd appreciate that. Those are some of our best friends, some of our great friends who have helped us grow and helped us get to where we are at. So very much, please help them. And thank you to those guys. Appreciate it. Until next week, we'll see you then. Cheers, everyone.
I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the Futbol Doc, Dr. Zack Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because to be honest, I'm getting a little older and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zack here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injuries. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep. Sorry, Doc.
All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What was wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord.